So now it's on. I've got my iPad, recording my audio. So I've got one audio script and then one video script. I'm also using a voice to test software so that my voice will be turned into text after I finish. Now, why am I showing you all this? Because 10 years ago, I may need to find a production crew and a copywriter to transcribe my audio into words, right? But now, I'm doing it all by myself, while I share with you the sharing. The meaning to that is the world has changed. We need to become a dear and good friend of the change. Which now, I'm a good friend of all these changes. And also, we need to know how to leverage the change. Now, why I need all these kind of video and audio and also text? Because if we want to have followers or fans on the internet, what do you need? Content, right? So I'm now doing some content. I have video, I have text, I have audio, I have 3 different kinds of content for me to upload to the relevant social media or website. That means what we call the content repurpose. Okay, so that is why I let you know about the setup. Change is coming. You need not afraid of change. You need to become a sincere and dear friend of change. Does it make sense? Good. Okay, this is a little bit of who I am. So I'm a business coach for entrepreneur. I've got clients in Hong Kong and also in Singapore. What I do with my client is I help them to make decisions with clarity and without regrets. And as I believe, companies grow and sustain through making the right decisions. Not really so much money and fund that you have. Look at Kodak. I previously ran my advertising agency in Hong Kong, and then I joined DuPont Singapore. I'm a PR now, and then over 10 years in Singapore. So I know quite a bit about Singapore. Maybe not as familiar as you, but I know quite a bit. And I was a member of the country management team of DuPont Singapore, running a company of 500 employees. I looked after corporate communication for ASEAN and also the digital and crisis communication for Asia Pacific. I led digital transformation for 13 countries in AP. I was also a judge for the 2014 MOEX Award, so I know quite a bit about digital and mobile. Now, today we are talking about thinking global. Let me introduce to you Senia Wong. She is a client of mine based in Hong Kong, running and founding a business called JobDo. In less than 2 years, he got a market in Hong Kong, then in Taiwan, users signed up from India, Singapore, US, and Malaysia. Clients from Australia, Argentina, Thailand, and Peru. Not too bad, right? Under 2 years in Hong Kong. If you search Senia Wong on the internet, you'll know more about her background, her experience, and also her achievements. She was interviewed by CNBC in April this year. I coached her on how to appear for a TV interview. Now, why I would like to introduce her to you? We are talking about thinking global. You are the future of Singapore, and also you are the future of the world. You are young, you are energetic, you want to do something for the world, right? And this lady, I'm not going to mention her age, but it's under 40, okay? And then I have already taped a video of her so that you can listen to her learning and also how she felt about global entrepreneurship and also her journey as an entrepreneur. So after listening to about 3 minutes or so, I'll share some more pointer for you, for your consideration, okay?
Hello, I'm Zania, CEO of Jobdo, an on-demand hiring platform that connects workers and employers quicker, fairer, and smarter. We use algorithm to optimize the matching between the two parties and ensure they go to work quickly. Our record from job posting to arrival is under 60 minutes. So I'm very honored to be speaking virtually about my experience in global entrepreneurship and expansion into other markets. I think in general, a few advice I would give for entrepreneurship and looking for opportunities worldwide is the right attitude, the team, and also the sense of observation. In terms of the attitudes, I would recommend or I would suggest to be open-minded, positive, and always be self-improving. I actually have lived in over 5 countries, and I've gone to a business school where I had to work with many different cultures from different backgrounds. That made me very open to try to understand differences. And it actually is oftentimes those differences that would help you come up with more creative problems. So I suggest that you associate yourself with people who are not always the same as you, so you can learn how to, work with differences and come up with a better solution. Another thing is positivity. As in life, running businesses is very tough. There will be times when you think there's no light at the end of the tunnel. So learn to enjoy the process, but also make sure you have the perseverance and the confidence to know that the tough spots will end and stay afloat. That's probably the single most important characters for being a successful entrepreneur. And then the third is continuous improvement, always be self-improving. My background actually before Jobdo was in finance, management consulting, wine. And Jobdo is my 4th business. I haven't had actually much experience in HR aside from me hiring people. So a lot of things were self-taught. But it is the sense of curiosity that allow me to come up with solutions that I'm able to solve even though I have no direct experience. And also, you will be surprised how much skills that you might have learned in one industry can be applied to another one. So always be foolish and always try to learn more. The second important thing is teamwork. If you are thinking of starting your business or working in a business, you should start thinking early who you want to work with. Finding partners in business is actually much more difficult or much worse than finding your life partners or significant others. Your best friends are often not your best partners in business. I would suggest that you look around. It could be your classmates or it could be your colleagues that you find you work well and that you complement each other's in skill sets. With a strong team, many problems can be overcome. And without a good team, even if you have tons of money, you won't be able to build a good business. And then the last thing is really the observation to solve a real problem. When we started Jobdo, I discovered an industry problem, and I went out to talk to the stakeholders in the industry whether a solution that we proposed would actually be useful. And only after we got some validation did we actually build a product to serve the market. So be observant and also test your hypothesis, and that would help with building a more successful and sustainable business. Thank you.
Now a little bit of a recap, right? So they said is form a good team. Your best friend may not be your good partner. I've seen too many cases. Your good classmate, your childhood friend, you two join together and then form a company. And then I've seen quite a number of failure cases on that one. I'm not saying that there will not be a successful case, but there is equally a number of failure of the relationship there. And then a good team may be better than a ton of money. Open mind, be foolish. This is an interesting one, right? Be foolish. Continuous learning, always improve ourselves. Positivity, perseverance, leverage cross-industry skills. Be observant, connect with people who are different from you. This is very difficult. You don't want to go to Starbucks and then sitting beside you is a person who disagree with you on most things there. You won't feel comfortable, you won't feel happy, right? But then, if you look at it from a positive perspective, those are the people may bring out some of your hidden loopholes, probably some of the things that you overlooked, and then your friends are too good to share with you, right? That is very difficult to do that, but that is one of the advice you may consider. Now, before the video, I had a chat with Sania. Some other things, start hyper-local before expanding. Do it successfully in your community and local first. Find common thread partners when going global. You don't want to relearn everything. Don't invent the wheel. That is one suggestion for the startups. There is value in corporate training before going into entrepreneurship. I was chit-chatting with the other speakers. I worked for DuPont looking after Asia Pacific for over 11 years. Now, I'm a business coach. The way that I see the startup, they are very good people, capable people. They have 10 very capable fingers, but you only get 10 fingers, right? When you expand, they don't have a system. They don't have a process. They don't know how to delegate. Then instead of working 10 hours, you work 12 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours. 5 months later, you die. So you need to have a little bit knowledge about system, procedure, and also processes built into your company. When it's time to build it, I'm not suggesting day one, maybe a year or two later, when you start seeing some positive and expansion there. A strong team are the fundamental of good investable business. Choose your partner wisely and have paperwork in place before starting. I've also seen too many people quarrel and then they fought because there's no document at the very beginning outlining the roles and responsibilities. It's all verbal. It's all handshake. 2 years ago, when we all started, got $10,000 each, we are on. 2 years later, 20,000 are gone. You own 20,000 from OCBC. Then you fight. But no documentation. I didn't say that. No, you said that. Then you fought. Right? That is a little bit of experience. I've seen too many. Scale only after the model is foolproof in one market. The West is usually 3 to 5 years ahead. So look to them for some ideas. Well, there is only one lady's opinion, right? We should listen to more. If you search how to take your company global, 278 million results. Wow. If you take internet trends or trends in entrepreneurship, 16 million results. Wow. McKinsey, you know McKinsey, right? It's a famous global consultancy. 334 results for entrepreneurship, global and entrepreneurship, 397 results. A little bit more manageable, right? Not really million. You know Boston Consulting Group? Kind of in a similar market with the McKinsey. And also 34 results, right? Coming closer to home, i.e. Singapore. We were chit-chatting with the speaker and they say that, wow, Singapore government really take care of Singaporean people here. i.e. Singapore, you go there, you got all the help, success story, guidance. They even give you money. Right? So you've got advisor, you've got success story, you've got money. So what is missing? And also there are forums. There are lots of international forums in Singapore talking about various topics. This one is going into the June 23rd, just next week. Right? And also you can learn more from the newspaper report. These are some of the tips from the newspaper. The mindset of what it means to grow hasn't kept on. Beware of regulatory framework. Take it slow. Don't rush. Finding a good local partner. A long-term view. Now, why am I showing you all this? You know all this. I would like to point out another perspective. See whether you have thought about it. See whether it makes sense to you. Now, that is what I want to share with you the perspective. When information is a commodity, that means what? Everybody can get similar kind of information and guidance and advice. So on that level, and money, how would you win out to go global? Do you get a question? Like previously, maybe decades ago, the unequal access to information may make somebody wealthy, right? Because I don't know about the product. I don't know about their price. I don't know about an alternative. But right now, you are much better than me. You go online to check all the prices before you go and buy something, right? So how do we go when information is commodity? I'll give you 5 seconds. I'll share some of my thinking. Think about a little bit and then see whether your thinking resonates a little bit of my sharing. 5? Think about it. Don't talk. Think about it. Think about it. Everybody knows everything. How can you win out? 4? 3? 2? 1? Anyone has any idea? Just raise your hand. You don't have to speak. 1? Good. Anybody? I'm not asking you to share. Just asking you whether you have some idea in your mind. Only 1. 2? Good. 3, 4, 5. Oh, about 10. Let me share mine. Leadership, scenario planning, and decision making. These are the 3 elements that I want to share with you today to get you above the crowd, because everybody got basic information. Global market, local mindset. Do not assume, otherwise you will make an ass out of you and me. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but a lot of us, including myself, sometimes we assume. Why? We are educated, right? We have been working for so many years. I've seen enough. Whenever you say something, okay, there must be that way. You assume, based on education, based on an educated experience. Sometimes it may not work. Let me take the element one by one. Leadership. Are you a leader? Give me a show of hands. If you think you are a leader, hands up. A leader should be confident, not shy. Come on. Are you a leader? Not even 1/4. You are here to learn about entrepreneurship. If you do not regard yourself as a leader, how can you run a company? There's only 1/3. Hands up. Think about that. What makes you think you are a leader? Now, you think you are a leader, or actually whether or not you are a leader, 2 different things. You see the difference? But you have to believe that you are a leader, then you learn how to become a leader. How can you lead your company to go global? That is the basic element. When everything is the same, the leader makes the difference. Scenario planning. Now, in today's world, risk, danger, and crisis are part of our lives, right? In the morning, you open Straits Times, you watch the TV news, wow. And I'm sad to hear that 49 people killed in US just 2 days ago. So risk and then the dangers are with us every day. So we need to anticipate crises and issues. And then we need to fast forward solution to solve the anticipated issue and crisis. And then the purpose is only one purpose. We minimize the damage and resume business fast. We cannot control the killing, the financial crisis, the downturn, your shipment being kept by the custom. We cannot control that. But we can control what? How we deal with the problem. And then we use tabletop exercise. I've done about 50 tabletop exercise in ASEAN. Tabletop exercise means we gather the relevant party management together in a room, sitting around a table, and then we talk it over how to solve, how to communicate to the people there. Decision making. Well, saying that, do you know the difference between strategic, financial, and tactical decision? Are you aware of decision-making models? Do you know how to make a decision? You know how to make a decision for lunch. But what about the decision concerning thousands of millions of dollars, for instance, affect 100 people? Jobs. Do you know how to make them? Global market, local mindset. Uber, sued in Hong Kong and France, lost. Forbidden Starbucks, they opened a shop in Forbidden City and then have to move out and then generate the negative press. These are some of the stories that we don't want to follow. This one we want to follow. Right? Unilever. In India, they can't afford a whole bottle of shampoo and also body lotion. They do sachet marketing. Look at the right-hand side. Tiny, tiny left for one use only. Then all of a sudden, Unilever has business. And then the Indian population can access to the Western product. So to recap a little bit, info become information, and a commodity, global market, local mindset, leadership, scenario planning, and decision making. Now let's change the perspective, look inside a little bit. This is Mrs. Obama, 1-minute speech.
This is my very last commencement address as First Lady of the United States. This is it. You should never view your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. And I know that because I've seen it myself. Not just as a student working my way through school, but years later before I came to the White House and I worked as a dean at a college. In that role, I encountered students who had every advantage. Their parents paid their full tuition, they lived in beautiful campus dorms, they had every material possession a college kid could want, cars, computers, spending money. But when some of them got their first bad grade, they just fell apart. They lost it. Because they were ill-equipped to handle their first encounter with disappointment or falling short. Life will put many obstacles in your path that are far worse than a bad grade. You'll have unreasonable bosses and difficult clients and patients. You'll experience illnesses and losses, crises and setbacks that will come out of nowhere and knock you off your feet. But unlike so many other young people, you have already developed the resilience and the maturity that you need to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and keep moving through the pain. Keep moving forward. You have developed that muscle. And please, please always, always do your part to help others do the same.
Okay, as I shared earlier, you are in a very supportive environment, right? i.e. Singapore, Spring, advisor and thing. So are you equipped to handling your first encounter with disappointment and falling apart when you go global? Are you? Think about it. Can you dust yourself off and keep moving through the pains? Keep moving forward. If you are not, and if you cannot, if you still want to go into entrepreneurship, what would you do now? There is a background triggering me to share with you the Obama speech. You remember this one? I'm not stupid. There's a kidnap scene, not the exact script. Why don't you eat your bread? You haven't put the jam on my bread yet. What? Don't you know how to put jam on your bread? No, auntie put it for me at home. Now, I don't know how true that is. It's a dramatization, right? If it reflects a certain truth, then that is not moving through the pains. That is not equipping to go global, right? So that is one thing that we probably need to think about. We are already in a very comfortable and fruitful foundation in Singapore. What matters is what? You, yourself. Are you equipped? Can you sustain the pain? Can you move forward through a setback? That is the question I want to leave you with. So you go to the TED Talk and then find this one great, and then you'll know more about how to sustain the pain. What does it mean? And then you can communicate with me, and I'm more than happy to have a small group discussion with you, helping you to go global. And thank you.